I'm Dr. David Thomas. I'm a practicing psychotherapist in Tampa, Florida with Whitford Thomas Group, speaking to you today about how to test for borderline personality disorder. It's an interesting question because borderline personality disorder is one of many personality disorders. In my opinion, borderline personality disorder tends to be a little more extreme than the other ones. When you talk about testing for borderline personality disorder, certainly you can take a personality assessment, see a psychiatrist or a therapist to get borderline personality disorder diagnosed. But if you're just personally trying to get a handle on whether you or loved ones or people you know might have borderline personality, when you think psychologically about human beings, you usually are talking about four major life processes. You're talking about perception, thoughts, feelings, and behavior. So if we look at these life processes in regards to a personality, when we talk about borderline personality, we're really seeing dysfunction in all four areas. Perception, how they see the world, tends to be oftentimes very skewed, often driven by abandonment issues, either perceived or real. Dire need for love, for comfort, things of that sort. If we look at from a feeling level of borderline personality disorder, usually a very high level of anxiety, some depression, but we tend to see much more anger and anxiety with borderline personality disorder. If we look at the next area of behavior, oftentimes borderline personality disorders, behavior is very exaggerated, very poor boundaries, a lot of risk-taking, a lot of kind of what we might call unusual or peculiar type behavior. And finally, when we're talking about the other four life processes, we talked about thinking. Now, thinking with borderline personality disorders tends to be highly irrational. It doesn't mean that people think irrationally all the time who are borderline personality disordered, but their irrational thinking is heightened. So under normal circumstances that most of us would respond in kind of a usual type way to stressors and things of that sort, someone with a borderline personality disorder would have a much more exaggerated response. I'm Dr. David Thomas, speaking today about how to test for borderline personality disorder.